And welcome back to The Lead. I'm live from Tel Aviv, Israel. It's been 17 days since the Hamas terrorist attacks on October 7th. Many families, of course, are still waiting on word if their loved ones are dead or alive. Omri Almog initially learned that his sister and her husband and their 4 children were missing, and then he learned 2 of them had been killed in their home at Kfar Aza, a kibbutz. His brother-in-law and the oldest child were killed. His sister and the 3 youngest children remain missing and feared kidnapped by Hamas. Omri Almog is here with me now, and thank you for being here. Words, I don't have the words to, I have no idea what it must feel like to have your little sister and her 3 kids kidnapped. I can't imagine what it's like. Tell us how you learned about it and what you think happened.
I'm living in the upper north in Israel, in Sde Eliezer. So Saturday morning, the 7th, we just exchange a WhatsApp with Yam. She's the only one in the safe room.
Yam is
Yam is the oldest kid. And she's the only one that communicates from the safe room, and she talked.
Right there.
Yeah, no, this is the one that's missing. Actually, this is
missing,
Agam. Okay. Yes, she's Agam. She's 18 years old. Yam is murdered with her father in the house. She stopped communicate on WhatsApp around 12 p.m. Saturday, and then they missing. My parents were in a trip in Bulgaria, and I have to control this situation and start to search for some information. Sunday night from the kibbutz we got some message that there are 2 confirmed dead, which they know them in the kibbutz, and we got the final confirmation by DNA only on Wednesday.
By DNA? They weren't recognizable?
Yes. I went to Kfar Aza last Friday.
Yeah.
So I just go over the kibbutz from house to house. There's some house burned completely. Nadav, my brother-in-law, parents, also was in Bulgaria trip with my parents, and their house is completely burned. You have to understand also, as I understand, that we're dealing here with people that they are very cruel, and they do everything to ruin Israel and to ruin us and to hurt us as much as they can.
Right.
My sister and Nadav, they lived there for over 20 years. They never left the home in Kfar Aza, no matter what the situation. Yam and the kids grew up into this situation, into this sirens, into this all the time we fight, and this is how they grew up, and that's why they stay there at the house.
Have Israeli officials talked to you? Have they shared any information about what they think might have happened to your sister and the kids?
Yes. Today, first of all, the army is always with us, and they give us some information, and they you have to understand there is no home now for my parents and for Nadav's parents, and the families stay here in Tel Aviv in hotels, and I'm with them. All my family, we just sitting together. Last night we buried Nadav and Yam in Shfaim, which is a kibbutz in center of Israel, and we're going to move them to Kfar Aza when we can to lay them in Kfar Aza forever. So last night was my sister's birthday. She's 49. And she wasn't there at the funeral of her husband and Yam, her daughter. And this is amazing. And the 2 grandfathers saying Kaddish, and you don't know where is my sister and the other 3 kids. Now, the information that we got, we didn't know they were missing for over a week.
That's your sister?
This is my sister Chen, yes.
Yeah.
And we grew up in the kibbutz next to Kfar Aza, and she met with Nadav when they were 14, and from there on they together.
Tell me what she's like. What is she like?
She's very, very strong mentally. She wouldn't let the kids go without her. We don't know what happened in the house. I was in her house in Kfar Aza, and there's blood everywhere. There's shots everywhere. It's look like a war zone. It's a kibbutz. You have to understand that looks like a war zone.
Yeah, you said it was like
it's amazing.
Pearl Harbor and 9/11 all at once.
It's all in once, as you said. I think it's more than that. I mean, 1,400 people is murdered.
For Israel, that's like, in America, it'd be like 45,000 people.
You
Yeah.
got it. So it's amazing.
Is that it? Is that the house?
This is, it's not their houses, but this is how it looks like in the kibbutz around the Gaza Strip. I mean, it's yes, it's crazy. It's crazy to go in Kfar Aza. You see, you know, in the war zone, you see some things that you see at war all over.
This is just a community where people lived.
Yes, this is a community.
How old are the 3 kids that are missing?
The kids is Agam. She's 18 years old. And the other 2 boys, Gal is 11 and Tal is 9 years old. It's we are very strong from outside. I believe they alive. I believe they together. But somebody, and it's not just my private problem. It's the world problem, because we're dealing here. If we don't bring back these 220 people back from the Gaza to Israel, 3 kilometers to east, it's going to be a problem in Israel. Israel will have this belief between the state of Israel and the citizen. I mean, the gap now that we have is the first thing we have to do before we do anything else is to bring these people back.
Yeah, well, they're innocent civilians.
Yes. They're not soldiers. It's mainly kids.
They're kids.
Kfar Aza lost 59 people confirmed dead at Kfar Aza. It's crazy.
No.
It's crazy. And when you talk to my parents, I don't live in Kfar Aza. I know the kibbutz. I was there. Last time I see my sister was 2 months ago, 7 weeks ago. But when you talk to my parents, you talk to Nadav parents, they said, we're going back to Kfar Aza. We're going to live there. There's no other way.
Yeah.
And when you see them talking, the heart goes out to them the way they think. I mean, they're 76 years old, but they live there for, Nadav parents, they live there for over 50 years. My parents lived there over 20 years.
Yeah.
So it's a difficult situation, but we fight, and I need the world, somebody need to help them to make it back from Gaza Strip back to Israel. They cannot do this. They cannot do it themselves.
You're going to get your sister back.
Yes, I'm sure. I'm sure.
I know. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
We'll be right back.